Hello, hi, my name is Ty, and just hear me out for a second. I know what a couple of you are thinking after clicking this video. Is he dumb? Clearly it's an Overwatch copy. I mean, it came out a couple months after Overwatch did, and the characters are incredibly similar, blah blah blah, yeah, I'll get to it. But I hear you, okay? I'm not gonna act like some of the characters aren't heavily inspired by Overwatch characters, but for the most part, they seem original to me. I don't know, guys. And to prove my point, I'm gonna go through the characters and point out any similarities to our Overwatch characters, and prove that they have their similarities, but they are different. And I'm rereading my script. I'm not going through every single character. I chose 3 characters to go through today. I don't know, I forgot to put that in the script, so... And I have more points beyond just comparing the characters. I want to get more in depth, but I want to do this first, okay? Sue me. So I wanted to do an earlier version of the game for a very specific reason that I'll get into later. But in my research, I didn't realize Paladins went all the way as far back as 2015. Yeah, I didn't know that, like, at all. November 17th. Which is like a month from now, which is crazy. But I'm not really going to be talking about Paladin's first closed beta because, one, I could barely find any footage on it. I found one video in my research, and it was from the Paladin's account itself, so I couldn't find much on it, and I couldn't find much gameplay, so I didn't want to bother with it. Anyway, the version of the game I decided on is very important to me specifically because it introduced me to one specific person, and that version was 0.34. And I know this because of one specific video made by one specific YouTuber that introduced me to Paladins, that being... Also, quick side note, it took me so long to find this specific thumbnail because for some reason the Not series on Alpharad's channel, all of the thumbnails got like glitched or something, or maybe he changed them. I don't know what the deal was, so it took me way longer than it should have to find this thumbnail. I had to resort to a follow-up video he made on Paladins to get the thumbnail because I could not find it anywhere else. It was not archived anywhere else. But that's besides the point. Alpharad was my favorite YouTuber as a kid. He's like probably my main inspiration for the YouTube stuff I'm doing now. It's like mixed in with a couple other YouTubers now. I don't watch him much anymore just because his new style of content isn't for me, but that's not really a topic of this video. So I also just wanted an excuse to go back to some 2017 nostalgia, baby. So we're going back to 0.34. And let's look at the newest hero that was introduced in that update, who was... Ying! Okay, first off, in terms of design, Ying is pretty much unlike any Overwatch character I've seen. I can't really draw any comparisons to anyone else from Overwatch. Maybe like League, but even then, I can't think of a character that looks like exactly like Ying, or like... you can copy my homework, just change it a little. But we're not really talking about character design. We're mainly focused on their kits and how they play in the game right now. So her weapon of choice and her primary fire is a beam from a mirror. Looks more like a looking glass to me, but whatever. Anyways, her first ability is Illusion, where she makes a copy of herself that heals allies for 400 health a second. Hey, get out of here, you! Not in this video. Her second ability is Dimensional Link. Hi, editing me here. I actually did a fucking shit job of explaining Dimensional Link, so I'm trying this again. Okay, so Dimensional Link is an ability where she swaps places with the last clone that she spawned. Meaning that the last clone you spawned will be your first location, then the clone after that will be your second location, and then so on and so forth until the little bar that says Dimensional Link is gone. God damn. Get out of here, man! Anyway, her final regular ability is her secondary fire, Shatter. When Shatter is activated, Ying's active clone will start walking towards the enemy and then explode, dealing 500 damage. I don't know what developer thought of that idea, but I need to shake their hand because that just makes her so much more of an interesting character. Then lastly, her ultimate illusory? Yeah, I think I'm going to keep that in because I've never pronounced this word in my life. Illusory Rift, I think. Anyways, Illusory Rift spawns prisms on allies that heal 200 health every 0.5 seconds. Now answer me this. Does this kit even remotely sound like any Overwatch character that came out around the same time in like October of 2016? Because I'm drawing a huge blank. Because I can't think of a single character who Ying is like at all. The character that I think she's most similar to is Loki from Marvel Rivals, but he came afterwards, so we're not going to talk about him. The next character I chose is good old poster boy Androxus. Andro here looks similar to Reaper, but plays like Cassidy. What? Again, no, not really. I'm not even kidding. The only two things these guys have in common is, in Cass's case, his weapon of choice, and in Reaper's case, his overall aesthetic. Both of which are very open concept that anyone can use. Okay, so the only similarity he has ever had to either one of these characters was his old secondary fire, Defiance, which he still has today, but it works differently now. It used to work as a shot of 3 bullets that did 300 damage each, which is kind of like Fan the Hammer, but not really. And now it's changed to a melee attack that does 500 damage. So it's different. Moving forward, Androx's next ability is Reversal, where he deals 75% of how much damage was fired at him while the attack was active. His next ability is Nether Step, which just gives him 3 dashes that he can go in any direction with. And for the record, he also does have a passive ability where if you're in the air and you hold A, you get to float, which is like kind of similar to that one Reaper ability, but also like not really. Then his ultimate is Accursed Arm, where you fire 4 shots that deal 1,000 damage each. And if you use Accursed Arm in the air, you can float around for a little bit before all your shots are gone. And again, all of these abilities aren't anything like Reaper or Cass. And they'll still say he's a clone of both of either of these characters, which he just blatantly isn't. And the last character I want to talk about is very important to Paladins because they've been in the game since the closed beta I talked about earlier. You know her, you love her, it's
Sky.
Out of the 3 I'm going to talk about today, she's like incredibly original. Not even even in terms of aesthetic, she's incredibly original. I mean, look at her design. And when we see her kit later, you'll see that she's somewhat familiar to an Overwatch character. But that Overwatch character came after, suspiciously. Anyways, Sky's main choice of weapon is a wrist crossbow that she fires arrows from.
Crossbows don't shoot arrows, they shoot bolts, dumbass!
Alright, I got it. Moving forward. These bolts poison the foes for 10% of their health, and this lasts for about oh god, how long is it? I didn't write it down in the script. I think it's about 6 seconds, maybe? Her next ability, Smokescreen, has 2 charges that allow her to go invisible as long as she's standing in said smokescreen. And actually, that's not completely true. If you step in the smokescreen after activating it and then just walk away from the smokescreen, you're invisible until the smokescreen disappears. So then her final regular ability is literally just called Hidden. Very creative name. And if you can't tell from the name, it literally just does the same thing that Smokescreen does, but it lasts for a little bit longer and you don't need to throw down a smokescreen. And lastly, her ultimate ability is called Time Bomb. No, not that Time Bomb. Sky's ultimate is, pretty self-explanatory from the name alone. She drops a bomb on the ground, and after a couple seconds, it detonates, dealing 3,000 damage to anyone in the vicinity. Yeah, so in terms of how these characters play, I don't see many similarities to the Overwatch cast, really any of them, but I'm not going to act like there aren't some similarities. I mean, look at the character Grok. If you look at his removed moves, which I don't know if they were in the beta or when they got removed because the wiki annoyingly doesn't say, but he literally just had Winston's kit. So in that case, there are definitely characters you can call rip-offs of Overwatch characters. But outside of that, the characters seem mostly original to me. Like, besides release Grok, the only similarities I can point out between the Overwatch cast and Paladins cast is just really one or two abilities, sometimes more, sometimes less. I mean, look at the character Nyx. She pretty much just has Ramatra's kit. I think that she has enough unique characteristics to distinguish her from Ramatra, but then again, it doesn't look too great on her at all. And one thing I really do like about Paladins is like they have really cool concepts for weapons that the characters use. Like, check out the character Kasumi. Like, she uses a fucking voodoo doll as her primary weapon. That is insanely cool. So as for why a Japanese-inspired character would have a voodoo doll, I don't know. And the other thing I like about Paladins is they have like weirdly really good representation, which like Overwatch's whole thing is pulling people from all around the world. And recently, Overwatch has mainly had white and Asian characters, which, I mean, it's good to have, you know, that type of representation, I guess, but considering that all of their black characters for some reason can just jump really high or run really fast, it starts to get a little like suspicious. I mean, hell, it doesn't even just go with black representation. They also have representation for bigger body types. Look at Betty La Bamba. She's the only plus-sized woman I have ever seen in an FPS MOBA before. And look, okay, I'm not making this video to convince Paladins haters or Overwatch purists that they should play the game or that the game doesn't deserve criticism, because it does, okay? If there's stuff to be criticized, I'm gonna criticize it. But I think that Paladins really isn't that much of an Overwatch copy. I mean, if we want to get technical, Overwatch kind of just copied TF2, so calling a copy isn't really, that doesn't really help much of anything. And look, I get it. These games were revealed like not too far away from each other. I mean, Overwatch's first reveal was in 2014 and Paladin's first closed beta was in 2015. But you can't just like, I mean, it was like a year, so I guess they could have took inspiration from that, but even the characters from the beta don't completely replicate Overwatch's characters and aesthetics. Even though Grok pretty much has Winston's kit, he's still not like, he doesn't look like Winston. He doesn't look like any Overwatch character. But I think that's all I want to talk about for this video. I mean, there's lots of room for discussion on this topic, so I maybe will make more videos about this and compare other games to each other, or continue comparing Paladins and Overwatch, because I don't know. And also, I know what it's like to play Overwatch, okay? After a while, some of you get sick of it. And if you're looking for something new, but something familiar, and Marvel Rivals isn't doing it for you, play Paladins. It's actually really fun. And honestly, I also made this video because Paladins has always deserved better. And I also just think that, considering Paladins has always been in the hands of Hi-Rez, they deserve better developers. And I want a different company to buy Paladins and like do something with it. Like, the only company I think that could do something with Paladins right now is like probably Riot, because Riot doesn't really have like an FPS MOBA. Okay, actually that's a lie. They do have Valorant, but I'd rather stick 2 pins in my eyes than play Valorant. Anyways, that about wraps it up for me. And if you're watching this video, you get to see what's basically like volume 0 of my channel. I'm releasing a bunch of videos back to back because I remember years ago I heard Matt Pat in an interview talk about how if you're making a new channel, have like a couple of videos on it so people like can see more of your videos. So I'm releasing 3 more videos, And this, I think, is going to be the last of the 3 I upload, so go back and watch those. And I also have one more video, but it's not really in the same style as these videos I'm making now. I mean, if you want to, you can watch it. I think it's pretty funny. But then again, I'm biased because I made it. And I'm also working on a couple more videos, and I'm not going to spoil them. I mean, I'll say this. I'm making a review for Gen V Season 2 when it finishes this Wednesday. And then another video that I don't want to get into right now because I'm still working on it. And I think that the way the script's coming along, I'm not even 25% done with the first draft of the script. So that one's going to take a bit. So, anyways, thank you for coming. Thank you for staying. Thank you for watching the video. And I just hope you have a good day. And try not to spontaneously combust in your local library. All right, bye.